Welcome to a very special episode of Game Show Forensics, Director's Cut Edition. In this episode, we're going to take a trip back in time to 2002, when I made my first television game show appearance. It's not my finest work. It's not my favorite show. It's pretty damn terrible, actually, and some may say cringy. But it happened. We're going to analyze it. Here we go. Keep in mind, this was taped on a VHS tape that's been in storage for 30 years, so there's some
Hello and welcome to Friend or
issues.
Foe. I'm Kennedy, your game show mechanic. And I'm just going to need to check under your hood. Before the show, 6 total strangers learn secrets from each other's past and use that information to form 3 teams. Let's meet our first pair. Leanna and Robert. Leanna is from Rockwood, Tennessee, and is an animal rights activist. She's also active about her right to leave her dog's doo-doo all over the neighborhood and not clean it up.
Okay. So the show asks you to supply a couple of shameful anecdotes, things that you are not proud of, but that show that you have the potential to be a nefarious, dishonest trickster. So in Kennedy's little intros of all the contestants, she throws these little phrases out. So there's a lot of things about the show that, as a game show fan, I don't quite understand what they were going for. I don't understand why. So, for example, the whole premise of the show is to test if you are an honest person, to the point where you're going to share money with your partner, or if you're going to steal the money from your partner. Now, a true test of that would be if you had the chance to talk to the partner and meet them, get to know them a little bit, maybe go to dinner, maybe stuff you in some dopey reality show styled house like some of these shows of this time did. But on this show in particular, you did not have the chance to talk to anybody, let alone even see them before the show started. And once you're on stage, you meet these people for the first time. So it's kind of a stupid test, really, because these are total strangers. So without even the chance of saying hello to these people, why would you feel any loyalty or any reason to share the money with these people? Unless really the test is to see if you want to be an asshole on national television. That's a whole different story, and that's a lot of shows just allow for people to do that on its own. But they're trying to act like there's a noble reason why you might want to not be greedy and take the money. It is a game show, and all game shows are competitive. And if that means doing things to your opponent to create an advantage for yourself, then aren't all game shows that way? So be it. If we're to pretend that throughout the course of this show there's a potential budding friendship that will then be put to the test to see how greedy somebody is, it's a little preposterous. And I think that Kennedy reading off these ridiculous little dishonest sounding anecdotes of the person, it tries to sell everybody as a piece of shit, and that they're all out for themselves. So it doesn't make any sense. It's like, okay, let me go ahead and tell everybody at home and the contestants listening how shitty this person is and how you should decide if you should trust them or not. So that kind of taints the results already if these anecdotes are to be believed. All right, go on.
An animal rights activist. She's also active about her right to leave her dog's doo-doo all over the neighborhood and not clean it up. Her partner, Robert, the designer.
Okay. So let me point something out here. My wife, girlfriend at the time, Emily, her dog, Zeke, had a hilariously pronounced underbite, as Lhasa Apsos do. And At that time, I incorporated Zeke's face into pretty much anything I did creatively. I made a little online game, and I needed to, somehow work his face into the game. So, that was just a phase I went through. It was a face that I made, and I thought it would be funny to do this when I knew that the camera was on me in this shot here. Okay, so let's talk about the little bio they put up here. All right, so interestingly enough, I noticed a moment ago that for Leanna it said potential partner, and here I am the contestant. It's interesting, I've never seen that before. Yes, I'm a web designer. Now this is what's interesting is that I was born in Staten Island. On the application it asks you for your hometown. At the time I wasn't aware that that was just the game show trickery in trying to get people to just name another city besides Los Angeles, since 98% of all the contestants of these types of game shows hail from. They wanted it to appear there's a mix of people from around the country, so they ask you what your hometown is. Now, at the time, I just thought, because they ask you for your social and all these other things, and if you are eligible to be on a game show and you're not running for office, and I just kind of figured they needed to know my birthplace for, I don't know, ID reasons, or I really wasn't sure, but I answered honestly and said Staten Island, which is where I was born. So I was only there until I was 3. I don't really identify as a Staten Islander, but I was unaware that they were going to put that on the screen as where I'm from, but it's funny. Also funny and notable, this is in 2002, so surfing the internet was definitely like not something everybody did, as they do now. And yes, I do like racquetball, but the racquetball I like has a C in it, so I don't know if I've ever played racquetball.
Soyama! Robert also tried to steal from a Vegas roulette table and got busted. They still break your legs for that.
No, they don't. Okay, so incidentally, I did steal from a roulette wheel with my friend Ed when I was attending UNLV in '93, and we actually got away with it. Didn't get caught, and it was just a test to see if we could distract the dealer while one of us did something called past posting. Totally illegal, although we were also 19, so we weren't even supposed to be in the casino. We did not get caught. And I told them that, and for some reason the producers said that it would be better if it seemed like I got caught. I don't know why, because she's trying to, the whole point of these little stories is to illustrate how much of a piece of shit you are. Maybe they were afraid that, I don't know, I can't even imagine what they're afraid of. It's not like we named the casino, which is the Tropicana now. To this day, I'm not sure why they wanted to act like I did get away with it, but okay. Go on.
Meet our second pair, Jay and Penny. Jay is from Arkansas. He likes flea markets and cooking the best fried chicken.
Let's see, potential partner up on top. That's interesting.
Swinging it all right. He pretends to be Winona Ryder's cousin to get special treatment at clubs. Just don't try that at Saks Fifth Avenue. His partner, Penny, is a Navy retiree.
Winona Ryder was
she
in the
likes
news
making
around that
scrapbooks,
time for
and she's a Cub
shoplifting.
Scout pack leader. Penny once told her out-of-town husband that a friend was sleeping on the couch. And turns out she was having an affair with that friend.
Okay, that's kind of an insane thing to use as your little anecdote. My story about the roulette wheel is silly, harmless. Leanna's story about not cleaning dog shit off of someone's lawn. Okay. Bitch cheated on her husband, and it's okay. By the way, there is no audience, so the laughter and oohs and ahs are all fake. Those were edited in later, I think, 'cause I don't remember hearing that. Though we can hear the little sound cue being played, the little kind of beat. thing. Anyway.
Robbie. Buffy is a fashion show coordinator from Boston who teaches Sunday school. And here's a lesson she taught a drunken customer. He accidentally tipped her $100, and she pocketed it. Her partner...
I mean, isn't that what you do with a tip? Okay. Buffy.
And he's been playing the Japanese flute for 10 years. Oh, it sounds serene. But he cut off his roommate's phone line just for spite.
Scoundrel.
Harshin is zen, man. Well, those are our teams.
All right,
They
I'm
will
gonna
all
need a drink for
eventually
this.
meet here at the
This
devious
is a little
press
too
box
much.
to
Let's
decide
cut
whether
to
to
the,
share their money as
the
friends
shot.
or fight over it as foes here on Friend or Foe. Our three teams are in game position, and in this round there are 4 fabulous questions worth $500 each. Both team members must agree on an answer and lock it in order to score. You guys have 15 seconds for each and every question. All right, let's begin round 1. I'm going to give you your 4 choices, followed by the question, and away we go.
Right.
Bow, cradle, baby, or wind. In the standard version of Rockabye Baby, which word is uttered the most times? And begin. Bow. Baby, it's baby.
Baby?
It's baby.
Okay.
Lock it in.
Is it baby? Is it baby?
Wind, baby, yeah, baby.
All right, lean on it.
Cradle.
Cradle? Okay, let's lock in.
No, baby.
Baby? Are
Baby,
you sure?
Yeah,
Okay,
baby.
go.
Baby.
So our 3 teams have locked. Everyone locked on baby. And the correct answer? It's cradle. You're all wrong.
I mean, that you don't have time to sing it in your head. So that's not exactly a solid trivia question, really. I don't really have much shame in not knowing that, but right. So everyone has 0.
Here's your next question. Lived in a bubble, had a surrogate mom, fell down a well, or got a baboon heart. In 1984, baby Faye made headlines because she did what? And begin. Fell down a well.
No.
Okay, so living in Texas, I very, very vividly remember baby Jessica in Midland, Odessa area fell down a well. So I knew that was bait with that answer, but I did not know the answer to this question. So but Leanna wanted to go for the fell down a well, and I succeeded in talking her out of it.
It's surrogate mom.
Sure?
Yeah, well, it's not the fell on the well, because
Okay,
that's
okay.
Jessica something.
Not live in a
McClure.
bottle.
Was it
Baboon's
the
heart?
baboon heart? I think
Baboon's heart.
it is. Okay,
Baboon's
let's
heart.
lock it in.
All right, our 3 teams have locked. Leanna No Scoops and Robert Roulette locked on a surrogate mom. Jay Winona
Leanna
and
No
Penny Sleeps with a
Scoops.
friend locked on got a baboon heart. Buffy Big Tips and Robert
Big
Flute
Tip-
Man locked
Tips.
on fell down a well.
Big
And the correct
Tips.
answer is she got a baboon heart. Right here. $500 for Jay and Penny. And here's your next question. Financial companies, news media, large corporations, or charities? According to a USA Today poll, which of these organizations do Americans trust the most? And begin.
It's a typical, according to USA Today is the source. This is just a guess now. You're just gonna have to make an assumption. There's no way to know this. But you can assume
charity?
Charities.
Charities.
the bait is charities. So
Lock in.
you have to assume it's not.
Or large corporations.
No, I
don't
don't
think
think so. Yeah,
Yeah, no one trusts large corporations, Leanna.
charities. Let's do
Charities, okay.
Right, so we fell
All
for
3
it.
teams have locked on charities, and the correct response is, you're not going to believe this, the news media.
So this is a different time, right? 2002, I suppose media was a little more trustworthy, less biased than it is now, but I mean, then again, you have to consider this is a USA Today poll. So take that for what it is. I
Not
guess.
only one team has scored, and they've only answered one question correctly. That's Jay and Penny. You guys have 500. The other 2 teams, double bagels. Last question of round 1.
Hilarious.
Indigo Girls, Nena Cherry, De La Soul, or Tone Loc? Which of these artists did Milli Vanilli not cheat out of the 1989 Best New Artist Grammy?
Yeah, so it's a tough question because we're talking, 13 years prior. Of course, I remember Milli Vanilli, but to know specifically who were their fellow candidates for the Grammy that year, that's kind of high level, I think, in the trivia sense. I mean, I guess you would narrow down which of these artists maybe never was a nominee, but I mean, you're nominees, not winners, so it's not a good question.
Indigo Girls, it's gotta be.
Is it? You sure?
Yeah.
You're positive? Okay, let's lock it.
Does it?
I want to say Indigo Girls.
Yeah.
Okay.
Indigo Girls.
Indigo Girls, yeah. All three teams have locked on the Indigo Girls, and the correct response, De La Soul. That means we have a very strange tie. Jay, you and
That's
Kenny
strange.
have $500. That one question you answered, well, it got you into round 2. Our other two teams have $0. That means we have to ask a tiebreaker question for no money. The team that gets it right is moving on to round 2. The team that gets it wrong, well, they're big losers. So listen carefully. Here's your tiebreaker question. Lotus, Lamborghini, DeLorean, or Ferrari?
Okay. When I saw these answers, I was like, shit, I'm not really huge with cars. However, DeLorean is the trivia bait of, obviously the one thing everyone knows about it is it's the car in the Back to the Future. Well, and the doors open upwards. So I don't really know much about the other three, so I was ready to pounce on that fucker if I heard anything that had to do with Back to the Future, because now it's a race between who can answer faster. So.
Cars took Michael J. Fox Back to the Future and begin.
DeLorean. Did I get it?
DeLorean.
Yeah, they're just chill.
All right,
DeLorean. Yeah, I was like, fuck. Hit that button. Now, it's interesting. Is
And DeLorean, the correct answer is
I knew we got it faster than
DeLorean.
they did.
Well, you both got it right, but it looks like
Right.
Deanna, you and Robert did it faster. That means you are moving on
Yeah,
to
right.
round
That's
2.
a little high five fail there. Okay. Now, if I had lost that, if she had informed us that we were not as fast as them, just because why not at that point, I would demand to see some sort of timer. Because, even as a viewer, there's no way they just kept cutting between the clips, of the shots of these teams. So, how do we know who was faster, really? With no visible clock. I'm not saying that they made that up. Clearly we were faster, but yeah, as a viewer, it's not very satisfactory to see them just declare us the winner when. Why not have a clock on the screen? It doesn't. If they had a clock running to make sure they knew the timestamp of who won, why not just show it? I don't remember any kind of stop down or any delay in them declaring this. It wasn't like they had to look at tapes or anything. They just knew right away. It's pretty much real time. So I don't know. I don't know why they couldn't just show that, but okay. We won.
Buffy and Robbie, very sorry you guys kind of got shut out of this round, but I will put $200 into your trust fund so you have a little something to go to the trust box with, and we'll ask you to walk over there right about now.
Okay. Now, these little pods have this kind of garage door styled mechanism. It looks like I don't know how the hydraulics of this door raises. What was weird was that in the middle, where it looks like maybe a window. It's just a frame. It's just a metal frame. There's no glass. There's no partition. It's just you could step through it really. So it doesn't really have to open. But yet it was relatively soundproof as far as us not being able to hear the other teams. And maybe because they were pumping in that little ambient song the whole time, pretty much. We could hear that, and we really couldn't hear the other teams talking about things. So anyway.
Buffy and Robbie. Inside this trust box, you each have a button which you will use to indicate friend or foe. This decision will determine how your trust fund is divided. If you both choose friend, you'll split your earnings, each getting, oh, hold your hat, Grandma, $100. But if one of you chooses friend and the other breaks trust by choosing foe, foe takes the entire 200, and friend gets nothing. Now, if each of you selects foe, then neither of you gets the money. You both leave here empty-handed. So let's think about this for just one moment. Robbie is a master of the Japanese flute. But has he put the Zamfir of God into you? And Buffy?
Just for context, Zamfir was a pan flautist that sold his music on infomercials throughout the 80s, maybe into the 90s. So the jokes are cute, but I'm not sure if everybody caught them. It's weird, you know. Kennedy is not a comedian. She was an MTV VJ, is what she was known for leading up to this. And as you can see, she's got the little elephant sweater on. That was, I guess, a nod to her budding Republican ways. I think at the time, she was starting to become known for more right-leaning thought. And I remember that, you know, the 2002, the country was nowhere near as divided, and things were not as anywhere near as polarizing as it is now. So to even suggest that you are right-leaning wasn't an immediate turn off to people from the other side, or even like a deal killer for anybody really. Now this was also at the height of George W. Bush's presidency, so that's probably kind of where a lot of that started, I think, as far as just taking sides and feeling like if you are showing that you're on one side, then you must be against the other side. That really wasn't kind of a thing leading up to this era. But so it's weird. I mean, you know, she's got the cute little elephant and everything, but I mean, you know, people who know her career know that was a symbol of GOPianism. Anyway, carry on.
Fashion coordinator. You know what goes perfectly with that outfit? Your money. I'm going to give each of you a moment
Hilarious.
to tell your partner why they should split my money. So, Robbie, why should she split that $200?
Well, Buffy, I'm nothing if not my mother's son. And I do not need her or my impressionable niece seeing me being greedy over money I did not earn, which was given to me, so.
Yes. All right, Buffy.
It's $200, and I think that the animosity and the negative energy are not worth breaking trust.
No, absolutely not. Well said. Man,
So much animosity between the two of them in the 8 minutes of trivia questions. The animosity that was built was so overwhelming. It's hard to imagine that they would possibly have a friendly compromise after all of that.
please slip a hand inside the trust box. Finally, it's time to choose friend or foe.
People have asked me, what is it like? What are you pushing? Okay, so there's like it reminded me of the trigger on one of those arcade games that had kind of a, I want to say maybe it was Zaxxon or something. There was like a little kind of gun trigger. So when you are holding it, you have to hold it the entire time during the music. There's a little LED light that only you can see, and that confirms to you that it is acknowledging your going foe. That's so when you hold the button down, you're saying I am foeing. Yeah, you can let go, and if the light goes off before the music ends, then you change your mind and you are a friend now, right? So. But it's funny, like the show kind of acknowledged to us that what would happen if you insisted you went one way, and then they revealed the opposite just as a technical fuck up. So they just instructed you to make sure that light is lit throughout the song, and then when the song is over, if it's still lit, then you are faux. Apparently, they had a way of maybe recording the evidence of the light. So if you were to go back and say, bullshit, I said faux, then they would be able to see. I'm assuming that's why it was that way. But anyway, all right.
Time's up. Please place your hands on the table. $200 is on the line. Let's see who's a friend and who's a foe. Buffy, you went friend, and your little buddy, your little mama's boy buddy went foe. With that $200 that was never yours to begin with, Robbie. Oh, my mom and my niece wouldn't want to see me looking like a big simpleton on TV and then taking money from a nice girl.
I don't have a mother, I don't have a niece.
Really?
You say I don't have a mother, I don't have a niece? Okay. Oh, what a devious show. All these scoundrels that they found. And this fucker is going to get a check for $200 in like a month and a half. Okay.
Apparently so.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, I'll
Catch
give
what
you
she
some.
said. Say that again.
Money from a nice girl.
I don't have a mother, I don't have a niece.
Really? Well,
Raised by wolves.
Yes.
apparently so. Well, I'll give you something to lick your chops over. 2 teams remain while the remaining teammates stick together like Velcro or come untied like shoelaces. Find out when we return, friend or foe.
What a social experiment this show was.
Are you ready for match game?
Oh, yes, the interactive leaders. Playing along at home, I see. I will say this, I mean, I fucking hate this show, right? If it hasn't been made clear already, I did not like that this was my first game show experience. Now, those of you who know me know that I have redeemed myself in later years. But I kind of find the show as a disgrace of a show. I hated it, right? I mean, in order to win money, you only win money if your opponent, your partner, goes friend, right? I mean, it's out of your hands, and that's no matter how well you did, you still don't have control over what ends up happening. So that's why I really just hated this. But it was the only show that called of the 3 that I auditioned to. So I just figured, fuck it, I'm gonna go on a game show, and I'm just gonna do it. The one thing I really did like was the theme song. It's just a little guitar-y riff, very typical early 2000s GSN shit. But I think it's kind of groovy, so I like it. Anyway, but that's about all they get. All right, carry on.
Welcome back to round 2 of Friend or Foe. Leanna No Scoops and Robert Roulette are trailing right now. They've got $0 in the trust
Yeah,
fund.
I'm digging the music. I can hear it.
And Penny sleeps with a friend who have $500.
Penny sleeps with a friend. Did you like that? Did you like that shit? If you
Everything changes because round 2 we double the value of each question.
dollar values are doubled.
$1,000. You guys ready to play round 2?
Yes, Kennedy.
Oh wow! The excitement is
Right.
killing
Yeah,
me.
she's mocking. There's only 4 of us in the fucking room, so you're not gonna get some kind of rousing cheer or ooh. The audience is fake, so yeah. I mean, and we're behind, so obviously you're not gonna get the reaction that you are hoping for, Kennedy.
Question of round 2, beginning with your 4 choices. Potato, tomato, tornado, or kimono. Which word never uses the letter E when made plural? And begin.
Okay.
Potato.
Potato?
Yes.
Sure. Okay, like in tomatoes, right? Tomatoes.
Kimono.
Kimonos?
Kimono.
Yeah, so pretty good speller. Got 4th place in the spelling bee. Under the pressure of the time, your mind starts to second guess everything, right? But then it just clicked, like, well, kimono, the Japanese word, they're not going to throw an E in there, so that thankfully they put that in there just to make that a little easier of a guess. But I was pretty confident.
Get it.
All right, our two teams have locked. Leanna, you and Robert have locked on kimono. Jay, you and Penny have locked on potato. The correct answer is kimono, and with $1,000, the two of you pull ahead. Here's the next question. Happy Days, Seinfeld, I Love Lucy, or The Cosby Show? In its 50th anniversary issue, TV Guide picked which sitcom as the greatest show of all time? And begin.
It's Seinfeld. I just saw it. It's Seinfeld.
Seinfeld,
Yeah,
Seinfeld. Okay, Seinfeld.
Do you think it's I Love
No, it's
Lucy?
not Happy Days. You want to say it? Steinfeld or I Love
Interestingly, I did just see that, and I think had I not have seen that, I might have instinctively had said I Love Lucy, because that show is consistently, the number one show in TV Guide polls. It seems, I mean, I knew it wasn't Happy Days. The Cosby Show was the number one show throughout its run, but I think it was such a fresh story that I somehow caught that, so that was lucky.
Steinfeld or I Love Lucy?
Seinfeld or I
I'm
Love
confident.
Lucy?
Which
Lock
one,
it
which
in.
one?
Let's go with I Love
I Love
Lucy.
Lucy.
Yeah, do that.
All right, our two teams have locked. Leanna, you and Robert locked on Seinfeld. Jay,
See,
you
I'm
and Penny
getting a little
locked on I
confidence.
Love Lucy. The correct answer is Seinfeld. 1,000 more for Leanna and Robert.
Finally nailed the high five there.
The Eternal Coach, Touchdown Jesus, the Head Referee, or Hail Mary? What is the nickname for the giant picture outside the Notre Dame football field?
So when they start a question off, there's a little iPad-sized screen on the podium with actual physical buttons out to the side of the screen, and you see the answers. So when I saw these answers, I really had no fucking idea what any of these were. She then asked the question, and it didn't help. But this was during a time well before I became more versed in the ways of college sports. So I would be able to reason what the answer to this question would be now, but back then I really had no idea. So
Say Hail Mary, or it's not the touchdown. It's not the Eternal.
Eternal Coach.
Yeah, okay.
Let's go.
What do you want to go with?
Notre Dame, so it's Hail Mary.
so I
Let's go.
got
Quick
talked into it. That's fine.
All right, our two teams
Give
have
us
locked.
news.
Leanna No Scoops and Robert Roulette locked on the Eternal Coach. Jay Winona Cuz and Penny Sleeps with a Friend locked on Hail Mary. The correct response is a Touchdown Jesus. It's the image of Christ with his arms upraised.
Makes sense
and it
now.
looms over the north end of the stadium. Fourth and final question of the round. And you guys are getting whooped here. It looks like Leanna, you and Robert have $2,000. Jay, you and Penny have yet to score in this round. You have 500. It's not looking good for you guys. Not even if you get this right, sorry to say. Last question.
Well, way to keep the suspense, Kennedy.
Liver, kidney, spleen, or stomach? Which of these organs could you not live without at least one of? And begin.
I don't know. Liver.
Let's say liver. Okay.
Liver.
Yeah.
There's only one liver.
Yeah,
Two
that's it.
kidneys.
Okay.
No stomach.
Or is it your spleen?
Your liver.
Liver? Okay, let's go liver.
Wait, no.
Okay. What do you think?
Liver.
Make up your fucking mind.
Both teams have locked on liver. They're liver lovers. And the correct answer, it is liver. And that gives Leanna
To
and
the
Robert
liver.
1,000 more for $3,000 in this round, which is putting you in the final round. Congratulations, guys. Great comeback. Jay and Penny, not good enough. Very sorry. You had some difficulty in this round. That was the only question you got right. But you can get it right at the trust box. You can both go friend or foe. It's up to you. Why don't you head that way?
Yes, please make your way through the fake door.
Welcome to the trust box. Your trust fund is worth $1,500. And before you make your big decision, let's talk about this a little bit. Now, Sweet Penny here is a Cub Scout pack leader. And is she going to get her merit badge in thievery today, Jay? Oh, I'd keep both eyes on her. And Jay pretends to be Winona Ryder's cousin to get into bars. But if he goes faux and takes all your money, are you gonna...
How does that work exactly? You just go up to like the bouncer and you say, yeah, you know, Winona. It would only make sense if maybe his last name was Ryder and he just showed his ID, I guess. But that's another thing about this show, is that they don't reveal last names. At the time, I think a lot of game shows did introduce people with their full name. They made the point that the nature of the show will anger people that you faux, and therefore they don't want you looking up who faux you and going to kill them or whatever. But really it's kind of stupid because I think more and more game shows just, who cares what your last name is? The first name is, it suffices. But I just remember them pointing that out. That's why they don't reveal last names. Okay.
Will it be an
missing the sick
Ryder's
burns and
cousin to get into bars? But if he goes faux and takes all your money, are you gonna think reality bites? Will it be an autumn in New York? We're not in New York. Okay. I'm going to give each of you a moment to speak your mind. And Penny, since you're wearing dark khaki, why don't you go first?
Well, Jay, we worked well together in there for the questions we did get right. We talked about it. We worked that out. Also, when I got here, I got a scratch on the side of my car, and if we split that, it would at least cover the cost, and I think we should both go away feeling good about it.
Jay, what would you like to say?
Well, Penny, I may have lied about saying I was Winona Ryder's cousin, but I may be a liar, but not a thief, and definitely I think half this money belongs to you as well as me, so let's both go home with winners, despite.
Did the Winona Ryder thing ever work?
Once.
Oh, God. All right, I guess there's a sucker born every minute. All right, you both have had your say. Please slip a hand inside the trust box.
yeah, I bet that was a huge score. He probably got into some shithole bar where the cover was like $10. Hey, I'm Winona Ryder's cousin, so like, you know, she might be coming any minute. I told her I was going to be here, and they're like, okay, go in. Good score there, Jake.
Time to choose friend or foe.
Whatever.
All right, time's up. Your decision is locked. Please place your hands on the table. Well, let's see. $1,500 is on the line. Let's see what you guys have decided to do with your money. We're about to find out who's a friend and who's a foe. You both went foe. Not hard to believe. I didn't get a ton of sincerity about the other person from either of you, so...
Why the fuck would you go friend? That's the thing. It's like, you don't know this fucking person. So, gives a shit. It's the only reason you would not go faux is just so you maybe wouldn't look like an asshole. It's the only reason. It's not like you built up a friendship with this person. So while this is going on in our pod, they make us face the wall. They wanted absolutely no communication between partners, even visually, even non-verbally. They just didn't want you to signal anything, which I don't understand why. Like, what harm? If anything, it would make it a little more interesting if you had like the chance to connect with them and maybe do some additional hustling or do some additional bonding where, you know, because you want to try to convince them that you're going to go friend. That's the point. You have to, and how are you going to do that if your only communication are these shitty trivia questions and I mean, nothing else? You don't ever get to say anything else to this person but answering questions together. So it is no test at all of friendship. But what's interesting, so the whole time I'm in there, I'm like, I gotta find one way somehow to permeate through the silence and signal to my partner that I was going to go friend. I mean, there were no obvious opportunities to do this. So, and they made it clear, you know, you're wearing the little microphone, and they made it clear, like they want complete silence. You face the wall while this is going on. Do not talk. They really try to make it like they were on to that. And so but we were able to see and hear what was going on at the trust box. When this happened, when they both went photo each other, I had to somehow signal to her that I disapproved, that was so shameful, and how could they do that when obviously you're going to be friends. So I started to whistle the opening harmonica riff to the great 1986 Dionne Warwick classic, That's What Friends Are For. You know. Right, so I saw that she laughed, and I kind of felt like maybe I connected with her, if only for that moment, where the production staff did not catch on that I was kind of communicating with her. It's all I could do, right? So that's right around the time that this was going on.
The cookie crumbles. Well, I'm left limp with disappointment. When we return, Money and Alliances will be on the line as our two remaining players go for the big money and then go face to face to determine if they're friend or foe. We'll be right back.
Bigger used to be.
We are
Lot of
back in our
applause there.
final round of friend or foe, and it looks like Leanna No Scoops and Robert Roulette are having a very, very good game. $3,000.
I'm digging the fucking theme. It's all we could hear, and they had it pretty loud, and so I don't know. I guess I just couldn't help myself. I don't think I was on something. I might have been on a Dexedrine that my Canadian pal Jet Boy gave me the year before. I might have been on something, because I don't usually just bop around the game show theme. Yeah, I do.
So far, but now you have the chance to earn thousands more if you can correctly answer 10 questions. Every right answer gives you $500. Every wrong answer gives you a strike. 3 strikes and the round is over. However, if you guys get all 10 out of 10, we will double the entire amount of your trust fund for a grand total of $16,000. I love it. You can do this, you guys. 60 seconds, 10 questions. Take a deep breath. It's time to play right or wrong.
Now, why do they call it right or wrong when they give you 2 choices to a trivia question? It's really A or B, but okay.
Mariah Carey, best-selling female R&B artist of...
Okay, I gotta address this. This fucking rattled me. I am an enormous Whitney Houston fan. I mean, as a male teen during her height, as a straight male teen, if you will, I fucking love Whitney Houston. I knew all her songs.
When I'm more than I thought I could be. When all of my dreams are a heartbeat away, and the answers are all up to me. Yes, I will be
She's a legend. I listened to Casey Kasem constantly, so I was well aware of her reign as having a string of #1 songs. 7 in a row, in fact. And so, I mean, obviously, Whitney Houston is superior in the legend world of pop music. You know, obviously. For some fucking reason, I got caught up in thinking, because this was right around the time, 2002 was when my interest waned in current music trends, right? So it was just one of those times where I'm like, oh fuck, maybe Mariah Carey has somehow swept in and produced a bunch of shit songs that I don't know what I was thinking. To this day, I regret.
Take a deep breath. It's time to play right or wrong. Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey, best-selling female R&B artist of the century.
Whitney Houston. No, Mariah.
Wrong. 6 or 7, columns of cards and Klondike solitaire.
7.
Right. Goodyear or Goodrich has the blimp.
Goodyear.
Right. Green or red, a primary color. Red.
Red.
Right. Kentucky or Tennessee, state name on Jack Daniel's label.
Tennessee, baby. It's Kentucky bourbon. Isn't it? Oh.
Okay. She's from fucking Tennessee. Whoops. Let's cut to the shot. Yeah, I mean, they make whiskey in Tennessee. I mean, I knew this. But I also, for some reason, I just, it was in my head, the Kentucky bourbon label of something. The sad thing is I talked her out of it, and she knew what the fuck she was talking about. Whoops. So here's to you, Leanna, and your knowledge of your home state's spirits. I apologize. Carry on.
Chemical or kinetic?
Yeah, she wasn't pleased that she knew it.
Tennessee, state name on Jack Daniel's label.
Tennessee, baby. It's Kentucky bourbon. Isn't it? Oh.
Okay. I was thinking Jim Beam. The question was Jack Daniels. I mean, she obviously knew it, but she agreed with my immediate assessment that she was wrong. I felt really stupid, but I mean, you know, she could have stood her ground and said, "Asshole, I'm from Tennessee. I know what the fuck I'm talking." I mean, I suppose if the question was about something in Texas and she tried to insist on something that was wrong that I knew was right, I probably would have, because you know, both of you have to lock in the same answer for it to be accepted. If we both, as you can see, like they lit up, the little rectangle that lights up is literally like the button you're pressing. It's kind of cool, actually. It's kind of a high-tech show, really.
Kinetic. Right. Kentucky or Tennessee, state name on Jack Daniel's label.
Tennessee, baby.
Okay, so see, we have the differing answers. That we're both literally holding down these buttons that are making those light up. So it's not that the crew is just listening to our vocal choices. But see, I'm leaning on Kentucky. I just Jim Beam was in my head, not literally, but yeah.
It's Kentucky bourbon. Isn't it?
Oh. Wrong!
She gives me a
Chemical or
look.
kinetic, and electric batteries energy. Kinetic.
Kinetic.
Wrong! That was your third strike. That means the round is over. But it wasn't horrible. You guys did manage to get 3 questions right, which means you put an additional $1,500 in your trust fund for a total today of $4,500. And for a team who had $0 in the first round, that is actually great. Good job, you guys. Well, only one question remains. Will you both bring home the bacon or fry each other up in a pan? Oh, we'll find out when we return to Friend or Foe. Stay with us.
Okay.
Welcome back to Friend or Foe. Our 2 remaining players have arrived at the final trust box, where $4,500 is on the line. Leanna and Robert, you both know your options. I'm going to give each of you some sacred time to make your case to your lovely teammate. And Robert, let's start with you. What would you like to say to Leanna to really get her to trust you and go friend a day?
Okay. So, first of all, let me just address the fact that I'm wearing a tie. I never wore a tie. I just thought that maybe going on a game show kind of deserved for me to respect it by looking professional. Little did I know that Friend or Foe is such a disgrace show in the grand scheme of all game shows that I should have probably just wore like a tie-dye t-shirt or some ripped fucking muscle tee or something. So she's asking us to give a few words to sell our partner on why they should trust us. When this whole fucking half hour, they've done nothing but make us look like criminals and remind each other of how we suck as honest human beings. And now I get maybe 15 seconds to now correct all of that and tell her why we should be friends. I think I had prepped this on the plane on the way over. I was just trying to think up a way, like what could I possibly say at the trust box to convince this person that I'm gonna go friend. I mean, that's the only thing you can do is just get them to vote friend. And the only way to do that is to make them think that you're... there's no other way to... If they're set in their minds to go foe no matter what, you're fucked. It doesn't matter what you do. I just had this ridiculous idea to act like I had some kind of premonition skills.
Foe at all. I'd like to...
Better to trust you and go friend today.
If you're thinking about voting foe at all, I'd like to say that the only way you can get money is if I vote friend, and I will completely vote friend if I feel that you're voting friend. I have ESP. So let's do this together.
All right. Now, Leanna, I know you're an animal lover and...
That got a chuckle from the canned audience guy. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Now, Leanna, I know you're an animal lover and Robert's quite an animal. What would you like to say?
I'd like to say I'm a single mother and I need the money, and I'm sure you do too. And I'll buy you some of that Tennessee whiskey if you'll vote friend.
All right, so will you go friend? He needs your assurance that you're going to go friend so he can go friend.
I'm gonna go friend.
All right, you have her word on it. I hope you're both telling the truth. Moment of truth is at hand. Please, each of you slip a hand inside the trust box, because it's time to choose friend or foe.
Now, I don't suppose there are any hardcore fans of Friend or Foe, and I'm certainly not one. But, being that I was on the set of the show, it was noticeable, and being the only element of the show that I actually liked was the theme. During the little trust box music, the first two times, they just kind of have the little suspense music. For some reason, during the end of the show, one that we're on, they added like a little electric guitar lick between the... It's just this weird little strummy part that they added. And I don't know, it's cool. I don't know why it's cool. But I don't know why they... It's cool because it gives a distinction to the fact that we are the big one here. Okay, so about the faces I'm making. Again, this is a signal and laying props to Zeke, the dog, and Emily, my girl. Having watched the show in the lead up to going on, I knew that this was the moment that they were going to zoom in on my face, and I'm just like, well, how do I pass up doing a Zeke face right when they're doing this insane close up, and then the fucking wheel it. Yeah.
Time's up. Your decision is locked.
Apologies if I had already spoiled what's about to happen. I mean, it's hard to hide just because of the nature of the show and how stupid it is that I made it clear, like, what's going to happen.
On the table? $4,500 is up for grabs. Let's see who's a friend and who's a foe. You were going to go foe the whole time you went foe, Robert.
Me?
so
breaks
sorry.
my heart,
I
Leanna.
thought she was
So
going
Trusted you.
I
well,
thought you were going faux.
we haven't
Sorry.
seen yet. Either you're taking home 4,500 or nothing.
Okay. This is like the funniest fucking thing I've ever done on television. Is she is I really felt bad. I felt stupid. I felt this is a humiliating show. Let's just be honest about this. It's a stupid fucking game show. It's embarrassing, and the only way to win money is in somebody else's hands. It's just it's dumb. And so when she's just narrating that I just went faux and I'm about to steal some money from her, and I clearly, genuinely felt bad just because I saw on her face she likely did not go faux, and I was like, oh shit. But then when she mentioned that I might walk away with $4,500, I'm like, I just make this face like, oh yeah, okay, that'd be cool, okay, fuck it. So it's just kind of funny that little look I made, like,
I thought you were going
oh.
faux.
We haven't seen
Silver
yet.
lining.
Either you're taking home 4,500
Oh.
or nothing.
Great.
Leanna, did you go friend or foe?
Friend, like, don't lie.
Yeah, she went friend. Went friend, Robert. How do you feel right now, Leanna?
Oh, I hate men even more than I already did before.
I hate men even more than I did before. Oh shit. Now, see, they should have used that shit as her little tagline of nefariousness. Leanna, she hates men and she wants you to know it. Okay, so, and then this really is just the worst, right? So I won. And so I'm torn. It's like my first game show appearance ever. I fucking win on a show that I like. Just I had to fly out there twice, to pay money to go to LA 2 times, and that's not cheap. And the whole time I'm like, fuck, what if they faux me? Whoever my partner is, if they faux me, then I'm gonna be such a fool. I'll look like such a fool, and I would be out all this money for nothing, and it would just be like an embarrassing little footnote of my time on television. Here, I won my first game show, which should be a victorious, exciting, sensation, and here I'll be made to feel fucking guilty over this shit. Look at the look on her face. I mean, she's not happy. I wouldn't be either. I mean, but then look what this fucking cunt Kennedy does.
I can't believe you did that to a single mother.
Yeah.
Did you not see Jerry Maguire?
Mother too.
You shoplifted the pootie today.
Get that karma out, dude.
I'm sorry. Horrible.
Oh yeah.
Horrible.
Well,
I thought
say
she was
that.
going faux. My ESP got classic.
Your ESP is BULLSHI. Well, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Wow, GSN with the 7/8 of a fucking swear word right there. They're pushing the boundaries, GSN. That's what you get when you get a firecracker pundit like Kennedy.
Well, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time on The Game Where Knowledge Can Make You Money, and money can make you a friend or foe.
Now, what's interesting is that Leanna turned her head like a cartoonish kind of humph. I'm gonna turn away from you. And Kennedy does it too at the same time, almost as if that was coordinated, which is really weird. Like, I mean, it wasn't, but it's like they both instinctively did that, turn their backs to me. Which, here I am sitting there like a jackass, just going like, okay, what the fuck do I do? I'm just standing here. I'm gonna groove to the little end theme for a second, I guess. But they're like, okay, yeah, whatever. No, look, yeah. So I shrug. I'm like,
Foe.
I thought she was going faux.
all right, so just the awkward part of this shit show is that, all right, the gig's up. We know what happened. I won. She lost. She's a sucker. I'm an asshole. Okay, whatever. Both of us were dying for this shit to be over with now, because it's like really like, for her, well, she lives down the street, so whatever. But for me, I'm like, all right, I've already made a fool of myself. Let's get the fuck out of here. They strung it out. They wanted the end credits type. Why did you do that? And then really, I'll never forget this. The worst part, when they were taking the microphones off. it takes a while because if you're wearing a button-down shirt, they gotta it's a whole thing. They gotta dig in and get the cable, and it takes a couple minutes. And she's just like, can I just go already? Can we just do this somewhere else? I mean, she did not want to be in the same room with me. I get it. But, I mean, she didn't want to sit around anymore. The cameras were still rolling, and it's like, I totally understand. This needs to end. But it never ended. It never ended.
I saw you were
Piece
the
of
one
shit,
making all
okay.
these weird faces, and she's like, what do you think
we were
people
bonding.
deserve when they go foe and someone else goes friend?
I mean, he'll probably get something that he has to pay with all that money that he wouldn't have before.
Yeah, it's called a credit card bill, I guess. I mean, yeah, $4,500. I'm really gonna go fucking sock that into a 10-year CD and sit on it, honey. It's $4,500. All right, it literally is like 3 months of mortgage payments. It's not. This isn't life-changing, six-figure shit. This is GSN, the network literally famous for giving away $10,000 as their top prize on like almost every game show that appears on the network. So anyway, all right. So
Victoria Falls, Niagara Falls.
that's what happened. Now, what happened was, after the show was over, it's the weirdest thing. They just thrust you out into the daylight, and here you are, just on the sidewalk, in the middle of Hollywood. Just you're done. That's it. It's over. And people just walking around, doing their thing, and like these people have no idea. I just taped a game show. It's you never think about that when you watch a game show. When it's over, where do they go? Like, what does it look like? What do they? You just think that, oh well, they get thrown in a limousine and ushered back to the airport in fancy Hollywood style. No, you're just like, it's like I guess when somebody gets let out of prison, they just put you back on the street, and you're just there to go back wherever. So I'm just standing around going like, that was so fucking weird. And then of course, like, the guilt from that experience was weighing on me like immediately. And because now I'm thinking like, I have no idea how they're going to edit this. I have no idea how douchey they're going to make me look. I called my dad, told him, just said, hey, I'm done taping. And I told him what happened. He was so disappointed. My dad was such a cool guy. He really he would have gone friend no matter what, and that's just the kind of guy he is. Not to say I'm a piece of shit. It's just that I am a game show fan, and so I have always just assumed that whenever I am on a game show, that it's just going to get competitive. That's what it's all about. You're there to compete and win money, and it's just all part of the fun, right? I mean, even people who lose on game shows, usually they look like they're not sore losers, and they're okay with it, and it's like, that's just how it goes, right? This show is different. It's and in my episode in particular, I think I was made to be much more of a villain than I really am. No, I think maybe if it means anything about my character at all, like the fact that I really did feel bad in the immediate aftermath of this, when I assume a lot of people go on the show like, fuck them, I won, just kind of carried that with them. I felt like shit. Because this is also not, in a selfish way maybe, this is not what I wanted my first game show experience to be. I wanted it to be a cool celebratory thing. I didn't want it to be this evil, like, negative, mean-spirited shit where I had to fuck somebody over. And then it was made to feel like more shit from both the host and my partner/opponent, right? So, all right, now, this show, like I said, they make it a point to not reveal last names. I I was immediately curious about Leanna. I just wanted to know, like, who was this person? And when I got home and I started telling people online, my friends who were kind of following this saga about what happened, people wanted to know who was this girl at UFO'd. And so, I said her name was Leanna. I knew that she lived in LA like everybody else does. And, it only took 5 minutes for my collection of internet sleuthing friends who also share my hobby of liking to surf the internet. I don't know if they also like to play racquetball, but it took 5 minutes to find out that Leanna was a niece of Kenny Loggins. I was like, oh. Kenny Loggins, the best-selling folk singer of Footloose fame. Yes, that Kenny Loggins. Then, just upon further review, Leanna was on 5 reality shows leading up to her appearance on Friend or Foe. Yet, if you recall, in the beginning of the show, it said she was a what? Oh, a catalog model. Yes. So, she has an agent. She's been in a couple of, like, D movies. And so I'm like, okay. Maybe I don't feel so bad. It then occurred to me that agents of lower level actresses, actors, budding actors trying to break into the scene of Hollywood who are from other states, they get them on game shows and reality shows as part of their trying to raise visibility for their clients. So now knowing that Leanna's appearance on Friend or Foe was not a mission to go on a game show, like a lifelong dream that I had, but it was just another show in the great pincushion of shows that she stuck herself in, and I don't know if being the niece of the very famous and presumably very wealthy Kenny Loggins has any bearing on her financial status. I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't think that the niece or nephew of well-known, very famous celebrities means one thing or the other. But it does lessen the sting just a little. As far as the guilt of foeing a single mother who is grasping at straws to pay rent and make a living. And bitch, please, you've been on reality shows and you're only on this show to pad your resume. So that made me feel a lot better. I don't know anything about her besides that. I wasn't angry at her. I just I phoned her, so I get it. I'm the dick here, but at the same time, the little bit at the end where you folded your arms and turned away and like, oh, what an asshole. He took money from a single mother. Kenny Loggins' niece, lady. I think, as the song goes, I'm all right. I think everything's going to be okay in Pooh's corner. And I think that the countdown to Danger Zone was not on me. So we could be footloose about things and just say that it wasn't the end of the world. So in closing, that was my game show experience in 2002, my first one. Just a taste, a sampler. And maybe it was good that Friend or Foe was my first show, because it really did make me not only hunger for more, but demand more. I needed that to not be my one and only appearance on a television game show. That would have just been the ultimate disgrace. And so I had to right the wrongs for myself and cleanse the palate and make more noble appearances than on out. enjoyed it. Thank you for watching this very special episode. And if there's anything to be learned at all, it is to clean up your dog shit.